As we continue on this Friday night, one local researcher and founder of an Indo-based organization says it may be time to consider Tassa drums as another national instrument. Dr. Visham Bimal shares with TV6 his thoughts for starting the conversation.
Many a good fete, lime, christening, wedding, and even a cricket game, Tassa drumming has become somewhat of a staple.
Tassa itself, which is called Tasha in standard Hindi, Tassa is the Bhojpuri word, Trinidad Bhojpuri, would have at least come to the forefront with regard to practices in India during the Mughal period.
As years passed, Dr. Bimal says it became more prominent in the Bihar area from where indentured laborers originated.
So we wouldn't only find it in Trinidad, we'd actually find it in other parts of the colonial Indian diaspora like Suriname, South Africa, Mauritius, Guyana.
Interestingly, Dr. Bimal, who is the founder of Caribbean Hindustani, which promotes, preserves and propagates Trinbago culture from the Indo-Trinidadian perspective, says Tassa has been kept most alive in TNT.
The three tenors, I think one is a cutter and one is a fuller with regard to the beat, and then there's the bass, which is the bigger drum, and then there's the jhal, which is the cymbals. When it would have come from India, it would be a clay pot with goat skin. They have also other animal skins. It depends on the availability, but goat was the most common. The base would be made from they would hollow a trunk of a tree, and then the tenors would be made with clay and then tied with rope to give it that tension.
Today, Tassa is not taught at institutions but is passed down from families or communities.
Some of the hands are not even in Hindustani anymore, like one is the Dingoli hand, and that comes from Trinidad Patwa. So there was a lot of imbibing from the African slaves.
Dr. Bimal argues that that's what makes the instrument so unique and diverse compared to the mother drums of India. Interestingly, he says the hands or tal differs in the Muslim and Hindu communities.
Everybody would know Tassa is quite popular in the Muharram or the Husay festival of the Shiite sect of Islam. And then we also know it in the Indian wedding, which is one sanskar. Rites of passage is a reason to celebrate among the Hindu community, and Tassa is quite important in it. So it actually gives that sort of communication of information. And if you listen to the hands that played by the Muslims for Muharram, it actually completely, it's different. There's a difference in how the beat is. And again, that's why it's so unique, because just like we have different denominations, Tassa is something that pervades, at least in the Indian space, Hindu and Muslim, to give their own identity with regard to the beat or the tal or the hand.
A call has been made yet again for Tassa to be considered a national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago alongside the steel pan.
It should be considered. I'm not sure what the criteria is to determine whether a national instrument is, but it seems to fit the bill. Just like Hindi and Trinidad Bhojpuri, it lies in the hands though of the community of the descendants of indentured laborers to continue that lobbying process.
Dr. Bimal says in a country whose tapestry is crafted from threads of different denominations and ethnicities, to determine what is national is difficult. But has the core become political?
Anything that has to do with culture, identity, and a national space is always a political conversation. People always look at that word negatively. It's not a negative word. Through politics, you have what you call window of opportunity based on a national conversation. So I think, yeah, it's things that it has come up in the media. The discussion again is just to strike while the iron is hot and utilize creating that national conversation so that it becomes something that will be discussed in Parliament that could move it forward to have it, or have people of Indian origin feel that, well, they are part of the national space.
And does something, as many argue on social media, have to originate in a country to be an emblem?
But it doesn't have to be indigenous to be a national emblem. If you look at the national bird, the scarlet ibis, it didn't originate in Trinidad. It actually belongs to the Caribbean region and is not unique to this country. So in the same way, the Tassa would have originated in India and through indentureship find itself here and evolved differently, and also now has its unique traits to Trinidad.
The bigger question, he argues, is maybe if the country is ready to have that conversation. Urvashi Tamari Rupnarayan, TV6 News.